Hello and welcome to another Oliver Velez chart lesson update sponsored by iFundTraders.com. Today I'm going to continue updating a few of the explosive winners that the Velez Opportunity Report has enjoyed over the last several weeks. These updates are coming rather frequently at this particular point because many of our holdings have really stepped up their performance. The first one I'd like to update you on is Global Cash. I gave an update on this just several days ago, but the explosive move out of the base has brought about an action yesterday that I want to alert all of those following my plays via the Velez Opportunity Report. I took off half of my position in Global Cash. Now, as you will recall, this is our second play in Global Cash. Our first one occurred last year where we bought in the mid $5 area and rode that play up to the $9 area and took all of our position off of the play with the exception of a very small experimental lot. On the pullback from $9 to $6, we went back into Global Cash in the mid $6 range, as you will recall. And another explosive move to the $9 area once again has materialized. And as a result of these two combined plays, we're up slightly better than 150% since that first buy last year. So we are playing GCA like a champ. And as most of my followers know, I take advantage of very strong moves that bring the shares well above the 20-period moving average. As you can see, the 20-period moving average is about $8.40. The stock has moved to slightly better than $9.22 as of yesterday. That's when I actually took off half the position. Now get this, I will be looking to, in stages of 2 pieces or 3 incremental pieces, I will put back on that 1/2 into the play. I believe that GCA is headed to the $12 to $15 area, so I don't want to remained outside of the play. I do want to put the half of my position back into the play at an appropriate point. But the stock has gotten a bit ahead of itself, in my opinion, and these are wonderful moments to lock in some of our gains. Now, I'm looking for a pullback to the area of $8.40, maybe slightly lower or so, at which point I might begin putting the shares back on. You'll have to stay tuned for that. But let's watch this very carefully. I've lightened up my load, and it's been a wonderful run so far. Our next winning play is PACR International. I'd like to update you on. As you recall, this play was initiated in the $4 range back in the middle of February. The stock immediately experienced a very explosive move to the upside. Now, many of the traders in my daily chat room took advantage of the play in a very early stage. Not only was this featured as a lesson in that daily chat room, sponsored by iFundTraders.com, it was many players took the play on the spot, and the move has been very powerful. And what I've loved about PACR and during the period of its rest is that the resting period of PACR that has formed from the beginning of March to the current moment has occurred in the upper 1/3 part of the advance. And the traders who I trained certainly know that when a base or a period of rest, or said another way, a period of consolidation, stays in the upper 1/3 part of a very powerful advance, the odds are overwhelming that we see new highs. We see movements to new highs. Well, we got that yesterday. The breakout above the base initiated the 3rd entry in PACR. I believe the stock is headed toward $10, so it's close to a double from even the current point. And this play is very close to another 100% gain for the Velez Opportunity Report. I believe we played it masterfully. I will not be afraid of pullbacks in this stock at this particular time. I think the upside is still fairly decent enough to use any pullbacks as an opportunity to build even a larger position. So I'd like you to stay tuned on this one, this winning play as well. Our next update is going to be on Toll Brothers. Now, you haven't heard very much from me as it relates to Toll Brothers. My activity has been very light. Many of you did take my initial play in Toll Brothers along with me. We've been very patient with the stock. We've allowed it to gyrate and vacillate and build up the necessary base, which I believe it's done over the past 3 to 4, maybe close to 5 months. A secondary buy came in for me yesterday in Toll Brothers. With this strong move to the upside. I like the way Toll Brothers is acting now. This last advance, and let me mark that off for you. This last advance, the nature of this advance is very different from the nature of its prior advances. I don't know if you can see, this is a very subtle difference. But the prior advances have been sharper and less enduring. So they've moved up from lows, but easily given almost all of the gains back, primarily because the advances were too abrupt and too sudden. When an advance goes from being very staccato-like to more gradual, to more controlled, to more of a 45-degree angle, not getting too ahead of itself on any one or more of the individual bars inside of that advance, that's when you know the nature of the institutional accumulation is changing. It's becoming more solid. It's becoming more steady. It's the spaces between the institutions stepping up to the plate to buy are getting smaller and smaller. They no longer buy in a staccato fashion, back off and wait for several weeks, and buy in a staccato fashion again, back off for several weeks. They've now moved to a more steady, gradual accumulation of the stock. And I believe that Toll Brothers is a double from even current prices. I believe that by the end of the year, we will see the shares of Toll Brothers at much higher prices. So I will start to really focus on this play and work to build up my position in anticipation for that run into the latter part of the year. This is Oliver Velez updating you on the winning plays of the Velez Opportunity Report. Stay tuned.